Syrian state media says Israeli forces have killed 10 people, including women and children, in southern Syria. The Israeli military released this video saying its operation targeted an Islamist group. This is the deadliest raid in Syria since Bashar al-Assad's fall from power nearly a year ago. Images have emerged of a raid in the Israeli-occupied West Bank in which Israeli troops shoot dead 2 Palestinian men who appear to be unarmed and in the process of surrendering. The Palestinian TV news footage was filmed during an ongoing Israeli military operation in the city of Jenin. The men are seen exiting a building surrounded by armed Israeli forces. You can see them there. After appearing to surrender, Israeli forces then seem to open fire at close range. The Israeli military and police say the men were wanted men affiliated with a terror network and that the incident is being investigated. DW's Emily Gordine is in Jenin at the scene where this incident took place. Emily, what more do you know about what happened where you are?
So from what we understand, Israeli authorities carried out a raid here in the Jabal Abu Dahir neighborhood in Jenin around 11:30 in the morning. And according to the authorities, Israeli forces surrounded this building here behind me. You can see the white cover, the white drape over one of the entrance to this building, essentially. And essentially what we understand from Israeli authorities is that 2, what they say, suspects had been barricading themselves in here. And after the Israeli authorities had essentially thrown, stun grenades and fired at the building's walls, you can still see the firing holes in the walls there. The 2 Palestinian suspects were seen leaving the building, and we have this on video, how they are seen leaving that building. Officers then are said to have taken control of the 2 Palestinians. They ordered them to lie on the ground, and this is where the footage gets very difficult to watch, because as they appear to be surrendering, as they sort of are lying on the ground with their hands up, Israeli authorities, Israeli officers then shoot and kill them at close distance. Human rights organizations in Israel have accused Israeli authorities here of committing an execution, essentially. And the Palestinian Authority, which has also condemned the incident, says that this amounts to a war crime.
The Israeli military police, of course, now under enormous pressure to explain this incident. What are they saying?
Well, the Israeli authorities say that the 2 suspects were part of a terror organization that operated in Jenin. They say that they had thrown explosive devices and fired at Israeli forces in the past. You have to understand that the Israeli forces have been carrying out an operation in all of Jenin and also in Tulkarm and Nor Shams, the refugee camp also in the north of the West Bank, for about 10 months now. So there's been repeated raids here in this area. Still, the IDF and the police, because the officers who were involved in this incident were in fact border police, say that this incident is under investigation and that an officer that is associated with this killing, that allegedly did carry out this killing, the killings of 2 Palestinians here, is under investigation. But it has to be said here that human rights organizations in Israel, but also Palestinians, have very little hope that this will lead to anything. Because in the past, what we've seen a lot in the West Bank is that killings of Palestinians, whether by settlers or by soldiers or police officers, are largely, they largely go unpunished. They largely go without consequences. So even though the IDF now says, and the police and the authorities say that all of this is under investigation, there's very little hope that this will actually carry any consequences for the officer suspected of carrying out these killings, essentially.
Emily, I understand you've spoken to family members of one of the 2 men who were killed there. What did they tell you?
Well, they were devastated. They were visiting the scene of the incident this morning. Both, we spoke to 2 brothers of one of the suspects, one of the victims that was killed here, Montasa Abu Wade, who was only 26-year-old. And what they say is that what they see in the footage and the video, and what devastates them so much, is that their brother had surrendered. He was lying on the ground. He was visibly with his hands up. and still he was killed, and they don't understand why he was killed. And they also say, and here they contradict what Israeli authorities are saying, that he was not in fact wanted by the Israeli forces, that the other suspect, they admit, yes, he was known to be wanted by the Israeli authorities, that their brother, in fact, who had just come here to have lunch, was not wanted. So that also raises questions about the accuracy of what the Israeli authorities are saying here. And so there's still a lot of question marks over the whole incident that, we need more clarifications on.
DW correspondent Emily Gordine with the latest from Jenin in the occupied West Bank. Thanks, Emily.